Good morning, everyone. I am Jessa Marie F. Manibo from College of Business and Management, BS Entrepreneurs Major in Farm Business. For today's video, sasagutin ko ang 5 katanungan about Buddhist ethics. So, here we go! What are the marks of reality in Buddhism? First, constant change. One of the things the Buddha recommends is that we look at life as it really is. When we do, he said the first thing we notice is life's constant change or impermanence. In our life, we must accept that no one remains the same, even the things we used to. Our own face, kasi di natin namamalayan na tumatanda na ang edad natin. Of course, may mga changes rin gaganap sa aspect ng ating pagkatao, especially physical appearance. Kasi doon natin unang napapansin na nagbabago na pala tayo, even the way how we act or behave. Our family, friends, and even ang mga kapitbahay natin ay may mga constant changes din. Sometimes, hindi natin agad napapansin na may changes na naganap kasi lagi natin silang kasama or nakikita, but all of it was an illusion. Sometimes, malalaman lang natin na may changes if we look back on our old photos like elementary or high school days, and it made us shock na malaki nga pala ang pinagkaiba natin. Kumbaga, memories sa atin yung ganong bagay and proof na everything really changed. Dati, hindi natin alam what love really means kasi masyado pa tayong bata noon. Excited tayo sa ganong experience, but the moment na nasakta na tayo, nag-iiba rin yung point of view natin about that things. When we truly experience impermanence, we see that all of the reality is in motion all the time, that the universe is in flux. As the Buddha thought, the wise person expects change, accepts it, and even savors it. The wise person might also reflect that just as pleasures do not last forever, neither do sorrow. Second, no permanent identity. We know that Buddha urged people to abandon egotism and fixation on material objects. Thus, the second mark of reality is that each person and each thing is not only changing but is made up of parts that are constantly changing. A concept referred to as no permanent identity. In the case of people, it is called no permanent soul or no self. Example of this, as a human, we consist of organs, body parts, instinct, memories, ideas, and hopes, all of which are constantly changing. If sa tingin natin walang nagbabago sa ating identity, kindly look back at ourselves 10 years ago and compare to who we are now, sobrang laki ng difference. And last is suffering. The third characteristics of reality, known as dukkha or Pali or Sanskrit, is usually translated to suffering or sorrow, but it also means dissatisfaction or disease. Example of this is even in the midst of pleasure, we often recognize pleasure is fleeting. In our daily lives, ngayon, masaya tayo na nakakapagbayad na tayo ng mga bills sa kuryente, bahay at tubig this month. But on the next month, mamomroblema na naman tayo kasi meron naman tayong babayaran sa mga ito. Dukkha encompasses the whole range from horrible suffering to everyday frustration. Maaring sobrang saya natin ngayong araw, but later on the back of our mind, may sadness itong kapalit. The Buddha concluded that to live means inescapably to experience sorrow and dissatisfaction. Indeed, no one can escape suffering, but each person can decide how to respond to it. What are the truths according to Buddhist ethics? The four noble truths about life according to Buddhist ethics are: first noble truth to live is to suffer, to say it perhaps more descriptively. Birth is attended with pain. Decay is painful, disease is painful, death is painful. It means having a body means that we can be tired and sick. Having a mind means that we can be troubled and discouraged. May mga bagay na kahit anong iwas natin ay hindi natin maaring iwasan because as long as we are living and breathing means we may experience anxiety, loss, and sometimes even anguish. In other words, living means sorrow. In this, it is also hopeful in the sense that if we recognize why suffering comes about, then we can lessen it. Second, suffering comes from desire when he analyzed suffering. The Buddha saw that it comes from wanting what we cannot have and from never being satisfied with what we do have. Ito yung mga time na naghahangad tayo ng mga bagay na imposible na magkaroon tayo at yung mga bagay na meron tayo pero hindi tayo nakokontento. Lahat tayo iba't iba ang desire since magkakaiba ang ating personal needs. We all have desires, and because life around us is always changing, no matter how much we acquire, we cannot be permanently satisfied. The third truth is to end suffering. It is commonly interpreted as a recommendation that everyone accept peacefully whatever occurs, aiming less for happiness and more for inner peace. The individual should concentrate on the present moment, not on the past or the future or one's desires for them. Sabi nga, acceptance is a step to inner peace if we recognize that what we have right now is actually enough. The essence of the noble truth is this: I cannot change the outside world, but I can change myself and the way I experience the world. The fourth noble truth is release from suffering is possible and can be attained. It's on us if how we can manage ourselves, how to act accordingly to avoid or lessen the suffering we are facing every day. Next question is suffering a truth according to Buddhism? According to Buddhism, suffering is a truth. Just like what I said earlier, as long as we exist as a human being in this world, we are all experiencing suffering from different people from different reasons. It is an integral to our lives, and of course that suffering also benefits us. We may learn from this suffering as long as we accept and has wisdom in embracing this kind of sorrow so we may suffer less. Suffering exists. It has a cause, it has an end, and it has a cause to bring about its end. Hindi habang buhay, puro happiness lang ang mararanasan natin. Of course, kakibat lagi nito ang suffering, but at the end of the day, lagi tayong may matututunan. Fourth question, how to alleviate suffering? In order to alleviate suffering based on the fourth noble truth charts, the method for attaining the end of suffering, known to Buddhists as the Noble Eightfold Path. The steps of the Noble Eightfold Path are right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. If we attain to apply it to ourselves, it may lead us to lessen our suffering. Last question is, what is karma according to Buddhism? The Pali term karma literally means action or doing. Any kind of intentional action, whether mental, verbal, or physical, is regarded as karma. It covers all that is included in the phrase thought, word, and deed. Generally speaking, all good and bad action constitutes karma. Ang karma ay hindi lamang nangyayari sa masasamang bagay na nagawa natin, sinasadya man o hindi sinasadya, but also sa mga good deeds na nagagawa rin ng bawat isa sa atin. If ever man na masama ang nagawa natin, so masamang karma din ang babalik sa atin, at kung mabuti naman ang iyong ginawa, mas lalo kang pagpapalain. Overall, ang bad karma is for bad action and good karma for something good na ginawa.